Hello, everybody. This is Captain Roy Love, President of the Association of Naval Services Officers. And today, as a start to our Hispanic Heritage Month celebration, we're interviewing Lieutenant Commander Eric Driggs, member of the ANSO Board of Directors, and serves as a U.S. Coast Guard service representative for us. So, Eric, thank you for being here, brother. Really
Thanks for
appreciate it.
having me, Kevin.
Awesome. So just so everybody knows, Eric is a U.S. Coast Guard reservist. He's wearing his uniform, Lieutenant Commander in the Coast Guard. And look at that background, man. That's pretty awesome back there.
Lots of Coast Guard swag here. Yeah.
Wait, where's the Navy flag?
Uh,
We gotta represent. Come on. Okay. No, thank you, Eric, again for being here. And I know that you serve as as a civilian in the United States Southern Command's Office of Congressional Affairs as a representative, correct? Awesome. So ANSO has a lot of great people in it. Eric is an ANSO role model and a Hispanic star, and we're glad to have you aboard. The theme for this year's Hispanic Heritage Month is Esperanza, a celebration of Hispanic heritage and hope. And I wanted to talk to you today about your Hispanic heritage. So tell me a little bit about yourself, right? Where you grew up, what your heritage is, and the cultural background, right? Because we all come from different countries. I myself, being Dominican, have a very different, culture growing up than you probably did. So over to you.
yeah. So I again, thanks for having me. It's really a great opportunity to be a part of this and be a part of Hispanic Heritage Month. I'm a Miami kid, and like many people in my situation, I grew up in a Cuban family. Both of my parents fled the revolution early in the revolution. My parents were 15 or 16. My mom was an unaccompanied minor before the rest of her family could come.
So when you say the revolution, we're talking about Castro,
Yes,
right?
correct.
Okay.
So my parents left in the early 60s.
Okay.
And my grandparents settled down in La Pequeña Habana, not far from Calle Ocho, so
Havana.
right in the middle. So um, yeah, it was an amazing way to grow up. I was the first um, I was the first natural born American in my family, so it was interesting to have to, on the one hand, kind of carry the torch of the Cuban culture and language and all that, and also kind of be the one to kind of help educate my parents and my grandparents on what being an American is like and those sorts of things.
So you were the translator for a little while there, weren't you?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, and growing up there, one of the things that was never lost on us, um, and I think that's still the case to this day, and probably all immigrant communities, um, it was never lost on us the opportunities that were provided to my family because of the reception that we got. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you today, and I definitely wouldn't be wearing this uniform were it not for that. So that was a big part of growing up in Miami, and we never forgot it.
Oh, excellent. So where did you go to high school and then college?
So I went to Miami Palmetto Senior High School, home of the Fighting Panthers, down
Hmm.
in down in Miami. It's a public school. I was very fortunate to be able to go to school in the Northeast. I went to Brown University undergraduate, and then graduate school. I went to the Harvard Kennedy School of Government.
Nice.
So incredible opportunities. A little cold for me, to be honest. That was my
In
first.
Miami, huh?
Yeah, it was my first snowfall was my freshman year in college, and it was nuts. I mean, I'd only seen it on TV and movies.
Wait, so you're telling me you never left Florida until then?
I had never been anywhere in the winter with white stuff falling from the sky. So yeah, I got to travel, but not to frozen tundras up north beyond Orlando. So,
Okay. So when did you join the Coast Guard, and can you tell us a little bit about that decision? What drove you to kind of join?
yeah, so my grandfather was a captain in the Cuban Navy, and
Oh,
he
wow.
was the director of the Cuban Naval Academy during World War II. Back then, it was in Mariel, and then he served again as the director in the 1950s. So as you might imagine, he had a couple sea stories, and so
I
uh,
bet.
I grew up hearing about, his service in the Cuban Navy, and so the idea of military service was introduced to me from a very young age. And again, growing up in Miami, the Coast Guard it probably still is, definitely was when I was coming up, the biggest military footprint that I saw. And the more I learned about them, the more it spoke to me. They were a they're a humanitarian service. It's a life-saving service at its core, and that's what I wanted to be a part of and how I wanted to serve. So I joined the reserve. I went straight into the reserve 16 years ago. Wow.
Wow.
Um, and I'm still
You've
here.
been-
I've had,
you don't look a day over 30, man. That's pretty good.
oh, well, thanks. Clean living, I guess.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, amazing opportunities through the Coast Guard. I've been able um, to help out after a number of disasters, from the earthquake in Haiti in 2010,
Mhm.
a number of hurricanes. I was in Puerto Rico in 2017, which was the most fulfilling duty I've ever had. So a lot of great opportunities through the Coast Guard. I'm very thankful for.
Awesome. And just real quick on that, as a Hispanic, right, Latino of Cuban origin, were there challenges for you in the service?
Uh, yeah, I think I have to say that I I think I'm in a unique position in that um, I'm I'm a bit of an undercover Cuban. Like, if I don't tell you I'm Cuban, you know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, oh absolutely. Especially with a name like Driggs, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm totally undercover. I mean, my mom was, Gonzalez, and my grandfather was Guillermo Rodriguez, but um, we're totally undercover. So um, from my vantage point, it's been interesting to see. I can't say that I personally have had a lot of issues. However, I can say that I have had kind of a behind the scenes look of a
Yeah.
lot of struggles that people have had, because I don't think people recognize who they're talking to or who's in the room when I'm there from that perspective. So I can say that I have seen some things, and I can understand how serving can be different, um, depending on where you're coming from, and where you're serving.
Yeah, and what you look like, right? I mean, honestly, the truth is that, we stereotype a lot, and we say a person looks a certain way, they must be a part of this community or group or something like that. And then a lot of times we react to the way someone looks as opposed to who they are and what they're about
Absolutely.
and their capabilities.
It,
And that's, it's human nature.
it is. And I'll say, I think one of the best things about military service is also one of the most challenging things about military service, which is you are bringing people from all over the country with all different backgrounds and all different experiences, and you're bringing them together into what you are creating into a cohesive unit. And that is one of the most amazing things, but it also comes with challenges, and I think that's part of what we're seeing, and that's, I think, part of what makes ANSO and organizations like us so important, is that
Oh, absolutely.
help the services kind of manage those, help educate service members about those differences and how to handle those.
Oh, that's outstanding. Thank you, Eric. That leads us back to the theme, right, for Hispanic Heritage Month this year, which is esperanza, hope. And when I hear the word hope, it brings a lot to my mind. I think about, what is it tomorrow? What is hope? Hope is, it's that expectation of what tomorrow will be like, right? Or that something is going to happen. And most of the time, when we hope, we're hoping for something good. So what does it mean to you to celebrate hope? Like, the theme is a celebration of Hispanic heritage. So we're celebrating our backgrounds, right? The fact that we are Hispanic and Latinos in this country, in the United States, and then also celebrating the hope of a better tomorrow. What do you think that means to celebrate that hope?
First of all, I can't think of a better theme for where we are right now, because hope is, it's like you said, hope is what shapes the future that you want to see. right? It's the vision of a future that you want to create. And we're going through a time right now, and not just our community. I mean, all of us. We're going through a time right now where I think we're more isolated than we've ever been. And I mean physically, and we're also starting to see divisions that, that are ones that I wasn't familiar with before. And so for me, I think Celebration of Hope is so timely and so important because it's a reminder that we're all in this together. And the future that we're going to see is a one that we create and craft together. So I honestly can't think of any better theme or idea for us to be thinking about right now.
That's excellent. Thank you, Eric. You give me a lot to think about as well. So is there anything you'd like to say to our ANSO familia, all the young men and women, they're part of our services, the Hispanics and Latinos primarily, but all of them, your message of hope and the way you just articulated that is amazing. Is there anything else you would like to say?
I'd just like to say that, it's un gran honor poder servir con ellos. And I really look forward to meeting as many of them as I can, either through ANSO or through service in our different services to this great nation. I salute all of them.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric. Una estrella hispana, un orgullo hispano. Muchas gracias por tu tiempo. And, I keyed in on your Spanish, and it's as flawless as your English, and that's amazing.
Yo lo dudo seriamente, pero muchas gracias.
Ok, Eric, bueno, cuídate mucho y hablamos más tarde.
Igual, muchas gracias, capitán.
Adelante con ANSO, hermano.
Adelante con ANSO.